Is Hard Knocks coming to the nation's capital? What's good, Commanders fans? I'm your host, Jack Sperry, and this is the Commanders Report. On today's show, we're going to be discussing the recent rumors that HBO's Hard Knocks could be coming to feature the Washington Commanders during training camp this year. It's going to be a juicy video, so make sure you stick around till the very end here. But first, help us get to 5,000 subscribers here on the channel. If we do so, my bosses are telling me we can have a couple of live watch parties this year, including potentially on Thanksgiving when the Commanders play the Dallas Cowboys on Turkey Day. So if you want some watch parties this year, live here on the channel this season, go ahead. We're trying to get to this 5,000 marker before week 1. Help us get there today by clicking that subscribe button and turn on your notifications. All right, so let's dive right into this recent rumor that the Washington Commanders could be the pick for HBO to feature on their hit show, Hard Knocks, this training camp. Now, I think this is a very interesting possibility for the Washington Commanders as a franchise. We'll go over those reasons in just a second. But first, if you're not aware of the requirements that the NFL has for a team to be on Hard Knocks, number one, you don't have to be you can't have a first-year head coach. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, you haven't made the playoffs in the last 2 seasons. Okay, and then the third one, no appearances on the show in the last decade. Okay, so if you meet those 3 requirements, the league can force you to have Hard Knocks. Any team can volunteer for it, but most teams really do not because it creates a little bit of a distraction. But out of the teams that make these requirements this year, there's just 4, and the Commanders are on that list, along with the New York Jets, the New Orleans Saints, and the Chicago Bears. So which team will get the nod this year? There's a rumor that Detroit might even volunteer to be the training camp team once again, but I don't think HBO wants to do that. If anything, they're going to have the Lions do the in-season version of Hard Knocks to keep things fresh during their training camp version of the show. And out of these 4 teams right now, okay, there's only one team that hasn't outwardly spoken out against being on the show, and that is the Washington Commanders. The New York Jets seem like the easy favorite because they got Aaron Rodgers. Robert Saleh's a high-energy guy. You got Sauce Gardner there in New York. The team could be competing for a Super Bowl this year if everything goes to plan. So that seems like the obvious choice, but Robert Saleh, Aaron Rodgers, everybody in that organization is like, we don't want you here, HBO. But Washington, they haven't said anything as of right now saying we don't want Hard Knocks here, which might indicate that they're in talks right now for HBO to have cameras at Washington Commanders training camp this year. And I think that there's a couple of reasons why they might do that. Now, next, I'm going to be breaking down why HBO might want to pick the Washington Commanders to feature on this year's Hard Knocks. But first, make sure you get into the comment section here and let me know. Do you want Hard Knocks to feature the Washington Commanders in 2023 during training camp? Give me a hell yes or give me a hell no down there in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So here's what's going to happen. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by giving me a hell yes or a hell no down there in the comments. All right, so number one here, let's just talk about why would HBO make this move? Why would they pick the Commanders over teams like the Chicago Bears with Justin Fields or Aaron Rodgers with the New York Jets? I think number one reason, I think this is the primary reason here, is because the Commanders are entering a new era in their franchise, right? Josh Harris is about to acquire the team from previous owner Dan Snyder, and they might want to cover that transition, you know, the plans that Josh Harris has potentially for a new stadium. You know, what he envisions this franchise to look like from an organizational standpoint over the next tenure of his ownership, right? He's somebody that's an experienced owner. He knows what he's doing coming in here. Of course, Magic Johnson is one of his minority owners. They might do a little segment on him as well. And I definitely think this is going to be the primary reason if HBO decides to go with the Commanders. They've done something similar to this before with the Los Angeles Rams when the Rams moved to LA. Now, the Commanders Commanders aren't moving anywhere, but there is a transition period going on with the franchise right now. Now, obviously, the Rams were terrible this season, right? Jeff Fisher got fired, and, it led to the Sean McVay hiring, which he still currently holds that position. So, obviously, the Commanders don't want to have that kind of season this year, but I definitely think it's going to be interesting to see what the inner workings are in a franchise-changing decision, like a new owner coming in. I think that'd be really intriguing to see play out over the silver screen here, and I definitely think it would be a cool thing to see for football fans all over the world. Now, I'm going to be breaking down a couple more reasons here in just a second, but first, if you need some more burgundy and gold in your closet this summer, we got a great combo for you just in time for summer here. You got the short sleeve burgundy with the Commanders helmet on there, and I really like the white long sleeve design. In summer it gets really hot. Personally, I love wearing long sleeve t-shirts, but if you wear colors, it gets super hot. But when you're wearing white, it definitely works a lot better. So I really think this is a great combo for you guys. Right now for Father's Day, this combo is just $30 on the Chat Sports website. Take advantage of it while you still can. Get one for your dad, keep one for yourself, whatever you want to do, keep both for yourself. I don't care what you do, man, but you got to get this t-shirt combo for just $30. Go chatsports.com/Commanders combo to get these two awesome t-shirts for your Washington Commanders today. Reason number 2 on my list here is that Sam Howell is a young quarterback, and HBO loves young quarterback stories. It seems like just about every single year they pick a team with a young quarterback. I mean, there's exceptions. Last year, Jared Goff with the Lions. There's a couple of different examples, but usually it's a young quarterback, and Sam Howell's a very charismatic guy. He could definitely fill out a couple of their segments this year, and of course he's battling with Jacoby Brissett to be the starting quarterback this year. That dynamic could be very interesting to watch unfold this year. I definitely think the storylines are there for the juice that HBO is looking for. And then a final reason why HBO might choose the Commanders is because of all the Chase Young drama. Will he return in 2024? Will they give him an extension? What will happen? Will he get traded, for God's sakes? I mean, if a Chase Young trade happened during HBO's Hard Knocks, that would be absolutely insane. I don't think that's what it's going to come to, but this is definitely a big season for Chase Young. And, I mean, the storylines coming with Chase Young this year would definitely be juicy in terms of an HBO audience. Now, the downside to potentially getting Hard Knocks here in Washington is that it is generally seen as a distraction to have those cameras in there. The guys are trying to play for the cameras instead of focusing on their jobs, which is why teams like the New York Jets, who are trying to compete for a Super Bowl this year, are like, we don't want you here, HBO. Do not come here. And if that ends up happening, they don't have a choice in the matter. If HBO wants to go to New York, they're going to go to New York, because, they meet the requirements. But at the end of the day, if they come to Washington, those cameras are going to be there. Can Ron Rivera keep this roster and his team focused during that period? Because this is a crucial time in the Commanders franchise and this coaching staff's future. However, there are the downsides, but I would personally, just for selfish reasons here, I would love to see the inner workings of how Ron Rivera runs his team, Josh Harris's acquisition of the team, because it's going to get confirmed here. It's just a matter of time. And I would love to see that unfold on HBO every single week. And I'd love to break it down here on the channel as well. So now, as for my predictions on what's going to happen, I actually think HBO will pick the Washington Commanders to feature on the show. I think that the new ownership thing is just too unique of an opportunity for them to pass up. And then I think because they really like the Dan Campbell stuff in last year's training camp version of Hard Knocks, I think because the Lions are gearing up to win the NFC North for the first time in forever, it seems like, I think that Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions will be the in-season version of the show this year. Now, pick a team for me. Which team do you want to see on HBO Hard Knocks this year? Do you want the New York Jets type NYJ? Do you want the Saints type NO? The Chicago Bears type CHI? Or if you want your Washington Commanders to be featured this year, type WAS down there in the comments. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Really do appreciate all of the support. Make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications, because we got a bunch of great stuff coming up here on the channel. If you made it this far in the video, we must be doing something right. We're trying to get to 5,000 subscribers before the start of the 2023 season. So every subscriber counts. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support.